If everything exists and you can have anything instantly, you just need to stick to the new story that you're creating and it is bound to show up. Even if there's a time lag because the 3D needs to catch up, it is universal law that it has to show up. Hello, everyone. It's Gigi. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be talking about today's topic of non-dualism. This is the second part of a two-part series that I decided to create on this topic. On my channel, I talk about all things spirituality, self-development, and the law of assumption. So let's get right into this topic of non-dualism. But first, I would like to remind you that I offer coaching. And if you would like to work together, talk through what you're navigating right now, I would love to help you. My email is above. My information will also be below. You can reach out to me. I'm excited to get to know you. Okay, so non-dualism. As a quick recap, I'm going to read some notes I took that will summarize a little bit what the non-dual vision of life is talking about. Before I read this, though, be sure you watch my first part, the introduction to non-dualism. I'll link it above because that will definitely help the rest of this video make more sense. So as a recap, the non-dual vision of reality is actually a unified, whole, complete, non-separate, universal oneness, and anything individual, any particulars, are merely illusions, interpretations, appearances, conditions, ideas, impressions, premises, feelings, opinions, perspectives, but not the ultimate truth, are of the same consciousness. And this should allow us to feel relieved and empowered that there is no separation. Non-dualism, not two, it's all one. We are all one. And if you're listening to this right now, like, okay, Gigi, like, easy for you to say, but how does this apply to my life? This is just a bunch of hippie talk. I don't see how this can help me actually feel better about my life. I want to read from a few examples. I hope I'm crediting the right people. I took some screenshots and I think the usernames were Ms. Perfect 777 and It Go My Way. Shout out to them. But obviously, this is not straight from the source. I talked about this in my first video. If you want to read direct from the source, this is an ancient Indian school of thought. It's very sacred to a lot of people, obviously. Honor its origins and the culture and everything, and do your own research. But this is just my journey of trying to understand these concepts. And I think they'll help you too. Without further ado, here is the first excerpt I would love to share with you. Consciousness is bigger than you as a human or your circumstances because consciousness is everything. That's why consciousness is not just the movie screen, but also the movie itself and the human watching the movie and the popcorn on the floor, etc. If your real identity is bigger than the role you are playing, why do you keep taking these helpless, hopeless feelings and negative thoughts seriously and thinking that your victim mentality is real? Since it's all an illusion and it's not real, you might as well enjoy the movie, right? You are truly consciousness that only observes. So things might seem hard because when you're aware of them and observing them, your ego persona categorizes those things as hard. But really, everything is neutral until you categorize it as good or bad, or easy or hard. It seems real because while being in the role of the human, the ego believes all of the things it's experiencing are real. It's an illusion because the ego labels and judges things while consciousness only ever observes without opinions. So nothing is hard. That's all your ego talking. That is a lot to digest. Wow. It's a little bit mind-blowing to think that all of our problems and everything that we're stressed out about is just an illusion, especially when it feels so real and so in our face. But the reason why I love this is because we can distance ourselves from how strongly we can feel emotions about a situation we're navigating that feels unfair or difficult or devastating or depressing, whatever the case may be, we can distance ourselves from it and remember, oh, wait, I'm actually consciousness experiencing itself. And God is always on my side because I have God within me. I can do this. We live in a benevolent universe, and there's always a light at the end of the tunnel and something on the other side. I do quickly want to address that, of course, there are going to be situations where we don't have the answers. And from our perspective, we just can't make sense of why certain horrific things happen in life. I mean, think about innocent children who are born into war zones, or people who have these awful terminal illnesses where they're just suffering and they did absolutely nothing to deserve that. These are situations that I don't understand myself, and I try to do my part to be a positive force in society and help in whatever ways I can. However, I don't have all the answers, and I never claim to have all the answers. So if you're watching this and you're like, there are so many exceptions, yes, I agree with you. There are so many exceptions to everything's neutral. So for those big picture questions of life, I don't know, and I will never pretend to know. I especially think of people in situations of ABUSE. I don't know if YouTube censors things, but those types of situations I cannot wrap my head around. However, I think that in your daily life, if you can apply this perspective of non-dualism, it can really help you feel more calm and at peace, in that you don't have to be triggered by things in your reality until you decide to be triggered by them. I want to read another excerpt from a screenshot that I took. And by now you understand that your real and only identity is consciousness. Consciousness is the only reality, so reality is everywhere because consciousness is everything. Desires aren't real because the moment you become aware of something, it exists instantly. You've experienced it instantly. Desires that you have are you. You don't create anything. You are everything. Forms of consciousness just appear as separate, but they aren't. Even the five senses aren't real and are limited to the power you, as the observer, have as you observe everything in this unreal physical and in your imagination. And I absolutely love this because it really helps me understand why instant manifestation is a thing. And I think we can use this way of thinking about life to our advantage in bringing about our desires in our daily life, because it reminds us why our 3D is the direct result of our 4D. And that if you don't waver, and if you don't go back and forth, and if you don't start questioning every 5 seconds, if you stick to the script and maintain the new story, if it's happening in your 4D, in your imagination, in your consciousness, it inevitably must turn up in your 3D physical world, which is an illusion at the end of the day. And I trust if you're watching this, you are mature and sensible enough to realize that we are respecting others and doing no harm whatsoever. It might be a hologram, it might be an illusion, it might be a video game, but we are still being good people. That should go without saying, but just wanted to make that clear. I'm going to wrap this up because there is so much more to say, but I think we're at a pretty good stopping point. I wanted to add a couple of things really quickly. One is, remind yourself, if you're going through a bit of a hard time, that life is literally but a dream that you are dreaming as consciousness, and you can change anything that you're experiencing. It's never permanent because the nature of life is change, and you can truly manifest anything that you can dream up. Don't ever sell yourself short or tell yourself that your dreams are too big. The bigger you can dream, the better, because it will allow you to expand your consciousness and awareness. And you never know what you will be able to experience, the amazing people you'll be able to meet, the incredible impact that you can have on the world in a positive way if you allow yourself to have these big, unrealistic dreams and goals. That is part of the beauty and the magic of life. If we can undo the conditioning that we've accepted, it will unleash a new side of us that is reawakened to the possibilities of life. And the last thing I'll quickly add is, I would recommend viewing your physical senses, your five senses in this 3D physical plane, as just tools to help you navigate life and keep your physical being safe and healthy, but to not overly identify with what you're sensing in this moment. If you're feeling very wrapped up in your emotions and limited, try to take a deep breath, recenter, and remind yourself that your senses are only feedback. They are not who you are at your core. I think creating that distance from how you're feeling while still allowing yourself to fully feel how you're feeling can be a really healthy way to process what you're going through and to maintain that sense of limitless possibility that you can just go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow and turn over a brand new leaf and move forward from a light and bright place. You always have the opportunity to move on and create a new beginning. That's it for this video, my beautiful friends of the internet. Welcome to the journey, fam. I'm so grateful that you tuned in, and I'm so happy to have you here. I will link above a pep talk video that I created last month that I think you'll really appreciate if you need to lift your spirits. I know I'm creating this in the winter, and it's very easy to get into a winter slump if you don't stay on top of your mindset. So I want to leave that as a resource for you. And I love you all so much. Leave in the comments below what you think about non-dualism, what you think about these ideas that I discussed. And I can't wait to catch you in the next video. Bye.